Oh, it seems like just yesterday when we brought you over 3 decades worth of turtle trivia with the 107 facts you should know about the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. You didn't think we were done though, did you? There's so many more facts! We've barely even poked our heads out of our shells, as it were. Get it? You know, cause the turtles thing. Hi everyone, I'm Johnny with Channel Frederator, and today we're revisiting everyone's favorite heroes in a half shell. 107 facts doesn't even begin to cover it. Are you a diehard fan? Just wondering what all the fuss is about? Well, we've got something for everyone as we count down the 107 more facts that you should know about the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. Let's get started! Number 1. Creators Kevin Eastman and Peter Laird first met through a rejection Eastman received when submitting his art portfolio to a magazine called Scat. While Scat didn't think Eastman's work really fit into their publication, they did give him the contact info of somebody that would appreciate it, Scat co-founder Peter Laird. The two started mailing each other their work back and forth until eventually they met up and began working together. Thus, a legendary partnership was born. Number 2. Before the first drawings of the Ninja Turtles, the idea was born out of a question Eastman had. If Bruce Lee were an animal, what would he be? Obviously, he'd be a turtle, duh. Number 3. Contrary to popular belief, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles was never originally pitched to and rejected by Marvel or DC. Laird and Eastman always sought to self-publish the book themselves to maintain total creative control of their vision. You know, who needs Marvel anyway? It's not like those guys are successful. Number 4. So how old are the Turtles exactly? Well, not even their creators know. According to Laird, the Turtles in the comics never had a defined age, just that they were teenagers. There is also no oldest or youngest turtle, as Laird assumes all of them are roughly the same age. He never found it all too important to the storytelling process and doesn't really think too much of it, and neither do I. But if I were to guess, I'm gonna say Leonardo's the oldest, followed by Raphael, then Donatello, and Michelangelo being the youngest, of course. Number 5. Laird did say that the Turtles had reached their late 20s to early 30s by Volume 4 of the Mirage comic, effectively subtracting one adjective from their name. Grown-up Mutant Ninja Turtles just doesn't really have the same ring to it. Number 6. The reason Michelangelo wields nunchaku is because they were the weapon of choice for characters played by Bruce Lee. Number 7. According to Laird, Michelangelo has a fascination with humans that none of the other turtles possess. If it were up to him, he'd be on the surface every day as an integrated member of human society. Yeah, Mikey, it's all fun and pizza now, but just wait till you have to get a real job, and real bills, and pay rent, then you got a kid on the way. Oh god, what am I gonna do with my life? Number 8. The Mirage Turtles' original red bandanas were an homage to an early 80s comic called Skate Man, which focused on a man that wore a red bandana and, surprise, skates. Laird and Eastman wanted the craziness of Skate Man to contribute to what they wanted to be the craziest comic concept ever made. Number 9. Laird's favorite turtle is Donatello, mainly because he sees a lot of himself in the character. Like Donatello, Laird considers himself a geek at heart, pacifist, and the silent type, which may or may not be Donatello's dating profile, which, unlike my dating profile, I'm sure he would get swiped right on. Number 10. April O'Neil is based on Kevin Eastman's high school sweetheart. At first, it was simply her personality, however, she began to resemble her more and more over time. It is unclear if said high school sweetheart wore a yellow jumpsuit. Number 11. Michelangelo was also based on someone from Eastman's high school, a friend named Steve Levine, who Eastman referred to as the Robin Williams of our high school. Levine eventually came to work on the comic when Mirage began to grow into a true studio. Number 12. Casey Jones debuted in a solo Raphael miniseries comic in 1985. It was based on the idea of Raphael meeting somebody crazier and more hot-headed than himself. Number 13. According to Laird, Eastman named Casey Jones after the famous American railroader of the same name. Number 14. Casey Jones's character was influenced by Kurt Russell's character from Big Trouble in Little China, Jack Burton. Often when writing for Casey, Eastman would often ask himself, what would Jack Burton do in this situation? And then the answer is usually, kick some ass. Number 15. In the comics, Casey Jones drives around in a 57 Chevy. He does have good taste in vintage cars. Number 16. Raphael is Eastman's favorite character to write for due to his unpredictable nature. Isn't that just a writer's dream? Number 17. Raphael is one of the few comic book heroes that can claim to have punched Adolf Hitler in the face. Eat your heart out, Captain America. Number 18. Shredder was killed off in the very first comic he appeared in and was sworn by Eastman and Laird to be a one-off character that would never return. Ha! Obviously that didn't remain the case because, you know, dying in a comic book is like calling in sick for a day. Number 19. When Eastman and Laird created Mirage Studios after the success of Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, they were not the only artists under the label. Other artists included Stan Sakai of Usagi Yojimbo fame and Ryan Brown of Wild West COW Boys of Moo Mesa fame. Brown actually started as an inker for the Turtles comics. Number 20. Most employees at an ordinary studio or an office take a break by chatting about life or the old sports game around the water cooler. Luckily for the Mirage Comics team working on TMNT, life was not that boring. Their breaks consisted of an all-out airsoft gun warfare inside their office. Number 21. The Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles' success happened both quickly and unexpectedly. By the 4th issue, the series was selling better than Marvel's Avengers series. The book's ability to draw in a demographic that didn't typically read comic books contributed to the colossal sale. I mean, who doesn't like ninjas and turtles? Number 22. Volume 3 of the comic wasn't actually created by Mirage Comics. Instead, it was made by Image Comics, who temporarily took control after Mirage lost interest in the property but wanted to keep the comics going. Laird wasn't thrilled about the direction they took it in, and as a result, Volume 3 tends to be considered non-canon. Number 23. As the comic series went along, some of the plot got more and more bizarre, even by Turtle standards. There was the introduction of Bessie the Cow, April getting a job as a computer programmer, and Casey Jones working as a grocery bagger. Flaird and Eastman wanted the craziest comic of all time, and they succeeded. Number 24. The first season of the 1980s TV show aired across the week of December 14th, 1987 as a 5-part miniseries. New Turtles every day? Sign us up! Number 25. TV sitcom guru Chuck Lorre was almost put in charge of running the cartoon in the 80s, but he was in the midst of transitioning from animation to live-action comedies. So he could one day create such shows as 2.5 Men and Big Bang Theory. He then referred the show to the more capable hands of writer David Wise. Many called this a wise move. Joke. Number 26. When the producers contacted Wise, they were very careful about how they pitched it to him, since they didn't know how any sane writer would react to such a ludicrous concept. Wise claims that they were stumbling over themselves during the pitch, trying to explain it to the writer in a way that wouldn't scare him away. Luckily for them, Wise knew what they were attempting to pitch him before they told him the title, as he was a big fan of the Turtles prior to becoming the writer of the cartoon, much to the relief of the producers. Number 27. Michelangelo's famous catchphrase "Cowabunga" was given to him by Wise for the cartoon. Wise wrote the catchphrase for a scene in the first episode in which a building floods and Michelangelo uses the life or death scenario to show off his surfing skills, which he shouts "Cowabunga" for the first time. The sequence was based on a scene from Charles Schulz's Peanuts comic in the 1960s in which Snoopy can be seen surfing while exclaiming "Cowabunga" in deep, bold text. The higher-ups on the show loved the catchphrase so much that Wise slipped it into episode after episode until it just became a thing. Number 28. Cam Clarke and Townsend Coleman were casted for the 1987 cartoon before they were assigned their roles. During pre-production, the two actors would switch back and forth between being Leonardo and Michelangelo as sort of an ongoing post-casting audition. At some point, it was decided that Clarke would play Michelangelo and Coleman would play Leonardo, but this casting was never officially enforced, so Clarke became Leonardo and Coleman became Michelangelo. Number 29. Townsend Coleman based his performance of Michelangelo off of Sean Penn's character Spicoli from the 1980s comedy Fast Times at Ridgemont High. Number 30. Although the Turtles were given different colored masks to tell them apart, the animators sometimes would confuse which color went with which turtle, resulting in the wrong voice from the wrong turtle. Number 31. Pat Fraley refers to his portrayal of Krang as an impression of a stereotypical Jewish mother. Number 32. Wise designed the Foot Clan's mobile base, the Technodrome, after the Death Star from Star Wars, only on wheels. The giant eyeball on top of its head was not Wise's idea, and he has no idea where it came from. Dimension X, maybe? Number 33. Playmates toy sculptor Steve Varner never received a three-dimensional reference for how to sculpt the turtle figures, just the Mirage comic books. This left the Turtles' leap into our dimension almost entirely up to the interpretation of Varner, whose design ultimately passed judgment with only one small alteration: the removal of a small tail he gave the Turtles. Number 34. During the original run of figures, Playmates released nearly 300 different turtle figures between 1988 and 1997, including Super Swim and Raph and Farmer Mike with Turtle Tractor, because you don't get to 300 without stretching it a little bit. Number 35. Playmates Toy continues to support the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles to this day, with new toy lines for Nickelodeon's 2012 reboot of the series. We could all learn a thing or two about commitment from them. Number 36. In a rare move for a cartoon series, even today, the producers of the show were allowed to give the series a proper ending. Most kids' cartoons are not allowed to do so, as networks fear last episodes discourage kids from watching repeats, but nothing can stop these ninjas. Number 37. At 10 seasons and 193 episodes, the first cartoon ranks number 8 on the longest-lasting animated shows in US history. Number 38. Just about every major Hollywood studio from Disney to Paramount Pictures turned down the opportunity to create a live-action movie. They believed such a concept would generate the next Howard the Duck or Masters of the Universe, which were, in case you didn't know, huge box office failures. The movie was picked up by New Line Cinema, a company that had a very good track record with independently made films such as Nightmare on Elm Street. Number 39. The first film's director, the director of photography, and much of the various crew members previously worked together on the Jim Henson-produced television series The Storytellers, which, as you can probably tell by the fact that Jim Henson's name was attached, utilized creature puppets akin to that of the Turtles. Number 40. When director Steve Darin was developing the story of the first Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, he would tear out select pages of the comics he found to be cinematic and organize them into a sequence that resembled a narrative. The writers were then tasked with creating a fully fledged story around Darin's comic collage. Number 41. When auditioning to be the suit performer for Michelangelo, Mitchell insisted he performed a roundhouse kick that accidentally impaled a wall and got his foot stuck inside. Darin laughed so hard at this spectacle that he decided that somebody with that much passion deserved the role. Number 42. The filmmakers behind the 90s film gave each turtle a unique manner to fight their opponents. Michelangelo has a tendency to joke around and prank his opponents. Donatello incorporates humor by frequently slipping up and taking out his opponents through accidents. Leonardo showcases his combat superiority by frequently taunting his foes and showing off. And the sadistic Raphael harasses and torments his prey, driving them crazy before finally taking them out. Number 43. The Splinter puppet in the original movie took 3 people to operate. One puppeteer operated his head and mouth, another operated his arms, and one more operated his facial expressions. Number 44. The filmmakers wanted the turtles of the original film to move fast because they're, ninjas. Due to the complexities of the turtle suits, the actors could not move as quickly as the director wanted them to. The cinematographers overcame this hurdle by shooting the film at 23 frames per second as opposed to the standard shooting speed of 24 frames per second. This may seem like a small and insignificant adjustment, but it made all the difference in the world. Number 45. Due to the technical difficulties with the turtle suits, hear more about that in the first 107 video, April O'Neil's actress Judith Hoag occasionally had to act off of either a paper plate on a C-stand or just talk to thin air. If she thinks that's bad, she should try doing a Star Wars prequel. Number 46. The first movie was the first major film for editor Sally Menke. Menke is known for being the editor of every one of director Quentin Tarantino's films, from Reservoir Dogs to Inglourious Basterds. Unfortunately, this master of the invisible art passed away in 2010. Number 47. The film's success reached into the realm of music, generating the hit single Turtle Power by Partners in Crime. The film claimed the #1 spot in the UK's top single charts, knocking out Sacrifice by Elton John. No big deal, right? Number 48. The first Turtles film was such a success that the studio nearly doubled the budget for the film's sequel, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles 2: Secret of the Ooze. The sequel boasted a $25 million budget in comparison to the original's $13 million budget. Number 49. The producers of the original films noticed the parental backlash they received for the violence in the first one and made an effort to severely limit the use of the Turtles' iconic weapons in Secret of the Ooze. The filmmakers compensated for this lack of weaponry by having them utilize everyday objects around them as improvisational weapons for comedic effect. Number 50. Laird and Eastman didn't want Shredder to reappear in The Secret of the Ooze. In fact, they proposed a scene in the film that would have solidified his supposed death in the first film as a fact when a garbage man comes across Shredder's old, crushed, and twisted helmet in a landfill. The studio ignored this request, bringing Shredder back due to his popularity in the cartoon. Number 51. The Secret of the Ooze's original script ended with a cliffhanger. It was to be revealed that Professor Perry was actually a robotic shell piloted by an Ultron, an alien species from the comics. This was scrapped when the producers feared that children would mistake this Ultron for the villainous Krang from the animated series. Number 52. The villainous mutants Toka and Razor were created specifically for the film. They were both voiced by Frank Welker, known for voicing characters like Scooby-Doo and Curious George. Number 53. April O'Neil's apartment in The Secret of the Ooze is actually the real-life location of Jim Henson's Creature Shop, the production house responsible for the film's extraordinary puppets. Number 54. Stephen Ho, the stuntman that played Donatello in Secret of the Ooze, got to keep Donatello's severed animatronic head as a creepy keepsake after the film wrapped. Number 55. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles 2: Secret of the Ooze was dedicated to the memory of Jim Henson. The puppeteering legend passed away almost an entire year before the film was released. Thanks to his many innovations in puppeteering, including his Creature Shop's revolutionary turtle puppets, his name will be remembered for generations to come. Number 56. The Turtles were once interviewed by Barbara Walters around the time The Secret of the Ooze was released. Barbara and the Turtles discussed such groundbreaking topics as Hollywood's bias towards turtle kind and the Academy's reluctance to nominate them for an Oscar. Number 57. While he considers the original movie to have been a huge success, Laird was not a big fan of its sequel and refers to it as a step back. Strangely enough, he believes the third film in the trilogy, Turtles in Time, was actually a step forward from the condition that the second film left the franchise in. Which, I don't know if you guys remember the third one, but it was awful. It was no good. Number 58. Darin is not a fan of the following two films in the trilogy either, and felt they weren't as successful as the first because the producers made their first priority catering to outside pressures from angry parents, censorship boards, and merchandising firms. You know, groups of people that didn't care about the film itself. This caused them to not understand understand what made the first film so successful and ultimately wound up throwing away the vibe and atmosphere that resonated with the film's target audience. Number 59. In 1996, 2 Japanese exclusive anime episodes were made called Mutant Turtles Choujin Densetsu Hen. The anime episodes used the Japanese voices from the 80s cartoon and were used to promote the Japanese Takara figures. Number 60. Brace yourself. There exists a crossover episode in Power Rangers called Shell Shock from 1998 where the Rangers meet the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. You heard that right. Number 61. In a bit of carryover censorship from the cartoon, Mikey's nunchakus were replaced with tonfas, a weapon similar in appearance to police nightsticks, in Next Mutation. Because kids are fine with swords, sais, and giant wooden sticks, but nunchakus are just too much. Won't somebody think of the children? Number 62. Next Mutation was canceled after 1 season despite decent ratings. This was the first time Turtles were off the air since 1987 and wouldn't get another TV series until 2003. Number 63. The 2003 Ninja Turtles cartoon took a more serious and edgy approach that was reflective of Laird's own negative feelings towards the 1987 series. He believed the prior series was too silly. Why so serious, Laird? Number 64. The voice actors of the 2003 series were told to watch and research the performances from the 1990 movie adaptation of the Ninja Turtles to get an idea of the vibe and characterization they were going for, something much closer to the Mirage comic books. Number 65. Casey Jones's backstory, the burning down of his family shop and the murder of his father at the hands of a gang, was never told until the animated 2003 series. The origin story ended up passing over into other Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles continuities, including the comics themselves. Number 66. Before this tragic Batman-like story became canon, Casey had no personal reason to seek vengeance on criminals. The character just watched too much bad television, which gave him stupid ideas, like beating the tar of criminals with sports equipment. Number 67. Hun, the leader of the Purple Dragons, was not a character from the Mirage comics, or even the 1987 cartoon for that matter. He was created specifically for the 2003 4 Kids iteration, but has since continued to appear in other forms of the Turtles media. Number 68. Laird says that the Garbage Man, another character created for the 2003 series, was made to exploit an unfortunate aspect of reality. People don't notice the homeless, they choose to ignore them. When they go missing, nobody ever questions where they went or what may have happened to them. That is, everybody but the Turtles. Laird says that the homeless are certainly friends of the Turtles due to the fact that both parties are essentially ignored or unknown to the general public. Number 69. There are 2 recurring policemen in the 2003 animated series that serve as animated cameos of Laird and Eastman. Number 70. Eastman and Laird were big Jack Kirby fans. The 2 played homage to the King of Comics with the character of Kirby King, a mild-mannered artist with the ability to bring his drawings to life. The story, with some modifications, was used in illustrated picture books in an episode of the cartoon after Kirby died in 1994. The plotline was used again in the 2003 cartoon series. Number 71. The new Battle Shell in the 2003 series took the form of a moving van with the logo reading Tortuga Bros Moving established 1984. Tortuga is a Spanish word for turtle, and 1984 was the year the first comic was created. Number 72. For the Turtles' 25th anniversary, 4 Kids Entertainment created a Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles movie called Turtles Forever. The movie served as a crossover between the Turtles of the 2003 series, meeting not only their 1987 predecessors, but the original Mirage Comics Turtles as well. This 80-minute film also served as a finale for the 2003 series. Number 73. The series ended up having 157 episodes, 13 shorts, and a TV/direct-to-DVD movie. Number 74. Kevin Munro, director of the 2007 movie, stated that he wanted to do a CG animated film over a live-action one because it would make suspension of disbelief much easier for the audience. There would be no obvious difference between the Turtles and other characters like in the original film trilogy. Number 75. The 2007 film was pitched to Laird by Munro, who brought his own copy of the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles comic with him because if he couldn't sell the pitch, he could at least get an autograph. Fortunately for Munro, he was able to get both. Laird signed the book with a drawing of Raphael and a message that read, "Dear Kevin, make a good movie, or else." Fortunately for Munro, he didn't do badly enough to find out what or else was. Number 76. Unlike the original film trilogy, Laird had a huge hand in creating the 2007 film. Not only did he serve as a creative consultant for the film's crew at Imagi, he even assisted Munro with the script. Number 77. Munro said that Peter Laird had a strict set of rules for the filmmakers to follow when developing the film. Some of the rules included to not give the Turtles fingernails. Michael Bay. The Turtles were not to have romantic feelings for April or any other female characters for that matter. Only Michelangelo and Raphael speak in contractions, and the Turtles could not jump 20 feet in the air. Number 78. Shredder's exclusion from the 2007 film was a creative choice made by Laird, who was getting tired of seeing Shredder as the Turtles' on-screen antagonist. Laird wanted to explore the comic's fantasy elements and create a new character using that basis. Number 79. The 2007 film is very loosely connected to the original trilogy of live-action films, similar to how Superman Returns is connected to the Christopher Reeve Superman films. While the events in the previous films did occur in the past of these turtles, they may or may not have happened in the exact same manner. Number 80. Munro was adamant about not casting celebrities to provide the voices of the turtles because when you heard Leonardo speak, you didn't want to hear Tom Cruise. He believed that having actors that weren't known by the world would make the turtles more real, especially to the hardcore fans. Number 81. Munro may have had a no celebrities rule for the turtles, but he sure didn't enforce it on the supporting cast. April O'Neil is played by Sarah Michelle Gellar, also known as Buffy the Vampire Slayer. Casey Jones is played by Chris Evans, who is certainly no stranger to the comic book genre with his role as the Human Torch and Captain America. The film's antagonist, Max Winters, is played by Patrick Stewart, known for his roles of Captain Picard in Star Trek and Professor Charles Xavier in the X-Men films. Who wouldn't want to see Buffy and Cap fight Professor X? New fan fiction? Make it happen, people. Number 82. Even though he's not quite as iconic as Tom Cruise, Raphael's voice actor in the film, Nolan North, is certainly a famous name amongst the gaming community. His resume boasts the likes of Nathan Drake from the Uncharted series, Desmond Miles from Assassin's Creed, and the video game incarnation of Marvel's Deadpool. Number 83. For the 2007 film, Master Splinter was played by legendary Japanese actor Mako, who you may better know as Uncle Iroh from Avatar: The Last Airbender. Unfortunately, Mako passed away midway through the film's production and as a result receives a dedication at the end of the film. Number 84. After director Kevin Smith saw the trailer for the 2007 film, he contacted the filmmakers demanding a cameo role. Due to the film being so far into production, granting Smith his wish was quite difficult but ultimately doable. He appears very briefly as a chef in the final film. Number 85. The film's intense musical score was composed by Klaus Badelt. He had previously created music for the films Gladiator and Pirates of the Caribbean: The Curse of the Black Pearl. Number 86. Raphael's motorcycle in the 2007 film was based on the real-life KTM adventure bike. Number 87. The idea of a CGI show predated the 2012 show by at least 10 years. In 2001, Mirage teamed up with Rainbow Studios to create an animated CG pilot to be sold to Warner Brothers to air on either Kids WB or Cartoon Network. Warner Brothers ultimately passed and the project died. We bet they're probably kicking themselves right about now. Number 88. The Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles franchise was purchased by Viacom in 2009. The fruits of this purchase were the 2012 animated series on Nickelodeon and the Michael Bay film series from Paramount Pictures. You've truly got to take the good with the bad, I suppose. Number 89. The final poses the Turtles strike in the 2012 show's original theme song is reminiscent of the poses they make on the cover of Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles #1. Number 90. The writers of the 2012 show always looked to the Turtles' past when creating episodes, with ideas being inspired by every Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles continuity out there, from the comics to the films to the 2 previous cartoon series. The show is essentially a celebration of the Turtles' iconic history. Number 91. The 2012 show's art style was based on the illustrations from the very first issue of Mirage Comics' Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. Number 92. According to the crew behind the show, they based their balance of dramatic and comedic storytelling off of animated dramedies like Avatar: The Last Airbender and its spin-off, The Legend of Korra. Number 93. The writers of the 2012 show enjoy incorporating homage villains for the Turtles to fight. They are semi-original villains that typically resemble some of history's iconic movie villains, like Jason Voorhees. This generally comes from the writer's love of crossovers between different forms of media. Number 94. Actor Seth Green took over the role of Leonardo during the 3rd season of the 2012 version. Green had previously voiced Leonardo in his critically acclaimed Toymation show Robot Chicken, which there's also a 107 video of. Check it! Number 95. Instead of leaving Leonardo's voice change an unexpected occurrence that fans would just have to accept like many other shows that recast, Green's arrival was explained by giving Leo a throat injury. I would have chalked it up to turtle puberty, but whatever. Number 96. Nickelodeon couldn't have chosen a better leader for the Turtles. Green is a lifelong fan of the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles and read the very first issue when it was released when he was a kid. He also claims that the Turtles are the characters he could draw the quickest. Number 97. Green's wife, Claire Grant, is a lifelong Turtles fan as well and had a huge crush on Leonardo, making Seth's decision to take the role a no-brainer. Wink wink, guys. Number 98. Prior to recruiting Green as Leonardo, the show went through 2 different actors playing the Turtles' leader. First came Jason Biggs, who may or may not have been let go from the show by Nickelodeon due to some dicey comments he made about a senator's wife over Twitter. He was then temporarily replaced by Dominic Kettrombone. Number 99. April O'Neil's 2012 iteration is played by Mae Whitman. Mae is the daughter of Pat Music, who played Mona Lisa in the 1987 animated series. Number 100. Rob Paulson has actually known Whitman since she was born, admitting that playing a character with feelings for her character can get a bit weird at times. Number 101. The 2012 version of Casey Jones is played by none other than Josh Peck. Peck is a longtime member of the Nickelodeon family, having starred in such shows as Drake and Josh and The Amanda Show. Number 102. The 2012 incarnation of Mona Lisa was voiced by Zelda Williams, the daughter of comedic legend Robin Williams, who was a huge fan of the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles and even owned a collection of the comics. She must have inherited her father's good taste. Number 103. The 2012 version features 4 voice actors that had previously played roles in the CG animated film in 2007. This includes John DiMaggio, who voiced Colonel Santino in 2007 and Pizza Face in 2012, Kevin Michael Richardson, who voiced General Aguila in 2007 and Shredder in 2012, Fred Tatasciore, who voiced General Gatto in 2007 and Rocksteady in 2012, and Nolan North, who played Raphael in 2007 and Krang in 2012. Number 104. The 2012 version's episode The Croaking features a character named Napoleon Bonafrog, an incredibly unsubtle reference to Napoleon Bonaparte. Bonafrog is even voiced by John Heder, who played Napoleon Dynamite in the film and animated series of the same name, and yes, there was a Napoleon Dynamite animated series. Number 105. Does the ringtone of the 2012 Turtles communicator sound familiar? It's a MIDI version of the theme song to the legendary 1987 Ninja Turtles cartoon. Number 106. In the 2012 version's episode Follow the Leader, Michelangelo spouts the phrase "Go Ninja, go Ninja, go!" These are actually lyrics to Vanilla Ice's song featured in the Turtles' second theatrical outing, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles 2: The Secret of the Ooze. Number 107. The 2012 incarnation of Casey Jones wields a hockey stick labeled Eastman, a nod to co-creator Kevin Eastman. Thank you guys for watching 107 more facts that you should know about the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. What's your favorite Turtles iteration? Sound off in the comments. And if you like this video, please be sure to check out some of our other 107 fact videos by clicking the annotations or links in the description. If you want to follow me on Twitter, you can do so at JohnnyKisAOK. We have new videos dropping every week, so let us know which animated movie or show you want us to cover next. And if you like getting more from your cartoons, subscribe to channel Frederator, because remember, Frederator loves you.
Hi, my name is Zachary White. How am I doing? I'm alright. Like to hear some facts on Kim Possible. That's as far as my lyrics got. Put in effort, I think not. Think I'd really like to play some video games now.